Hey, what's up guys? It's Juan Pablo from 100% Finance at 100%finance.com. I'm here doing a teleconference with my people who subscribe to the website, to the monthly membership. So go to 100%finance.com so you can sign up. So I'm killing two birds with one stone. I'm teaching them as well as I'm teaching you, just so you can get a taste of what we discuss in our bi-weekly meetings. And I just want to talk about easy ways to find deals. So I'll be going in and out with my cell phone because I have them on my earpiece, and putting them on mute, putting you guys on hold, so bear with me, alright? So here we go. Hello guys? Alright, so I hope you have your pen and paper out. So we're going to talk about the easy ways to find deals. Alright, so I want you to write these three items and give it some space for each one. Number one is drive. That's your first bullet point. And give it some room to write. The second bullet point is call, C-A-L-L. The third bullet point is mail, M-A-I-L. Okay, and the fourth one, just put T.E. T is in Thomas, E is in Edward. And again, I'll explain all this as we go along. Alright, so we're talking about finding deals, like getting started in real estate investing. This is like a method that I suggest people should get started. Whether you have money or whether you don't have money, whether you have credit or you don't have credit, this is how you should do it. Alright, so drive. Drive means pretty much, some people call it driving for dollars. So basically what you're doing is you're spending your time canvassing the area, your local neighborhood. So you're trying to pick out neighborhoods in which you're kind of familiar with the market value of how much houses are being sold in that area, where people want to live at, right? So when you're driving for dollars, you're basically, and these are things that I do, okay? So you're basically driving up and down a neighborhood, a street or a block. You go up one way and you go down the other way, and you're looking for houses that are vacant, houses that are boarded up, houses in which it looks like no one's living there, houses that look distressed, that look dilapidated, deteriorated, they look jacked up from the floor up. Those are the kind of houses you want to look at. Okay? So when you're driving, have like a notepad with you. Like I have a notepad with me when I do my deals, and I just write addresses down on them. I write the address, and I go up to the window and just look to see if it's vacant, or if it's beat up and someone's there. You knock on the door and you ask to speak with the owner or whoever owns the property, and you ask them questions about the property and that you're interested in buying it. So you want to have like, it's kind of like what they call it, an ant pile. Basically, you want to have at least maybe 30 to 40 leads on your legal pad of the addresses. And you want to take a picture. I mean, most of the time people have what, smartphones, or they have some type of digital camera. Take a picture of it and write some information on your legal pad about the property. Overgrown grass, boarded up windows, possibly vacant, spoke to the neighbor, the guy was in foreclosure, da-da-da-da. Jot down notes by it. Because this is going to be like your pile of leads. Alright, because you need to have, just like any business, you need to have leads. Whether it's a barber shop or a hair salon or mechanic, you need to have people, prospective customers, getting them to come into your place of business so you can start making some money. So that's what you need. You need to have leads. And that's the cheapest way of doing it. The only thing you're spending is just gas money. Or if it's a nice day out, like Eric suggested, you can just go jogging down your favorite neighborhood and just, with your iPhone, your notes section, and write down notes about houses that are vacant. But you want to have about 30 or 40. So what I suggest, you spend about one day a week, maybe a Saturday morning from 3 or 4 hours, maybe from 8 to 12, and you're just cruising down certain blocks, certain neighborhoods, just canvassing the area. And the next weekend, after you completed one neighborhood, you might want to check a different neighborhood. Okay? So that's the cheapest way, and it's one of the best ways. And the reason why it's one of the best ways is because this is how you find leads that are off the market. Deals that are off market tend to be the most profitable. When I say off market, I mean deals in which nobody knows that they're actually selling it. Sometimes even the owner doesn't know that they're going to sell it until you knock on the door and write them an offer. So this is one of the best ways to find deals. Another reason why it's a great way to find deals is being that they're off market, it's little to no competition. You're not fighting with anybody on the MLS for this one particular house. Why? Because nobody knows about it. Because you're the only person who had the audacity to go out there, drive an area, and do the research to find out who owns the house, and contact that person and strike a deal. So most people are not aware of this process. And if you find like 30 to 40 leads that you have on your legal pad, who knows, you might find 1 or 2 deals out of it. And you only need 1 or 2 deals just to make some money. Make your money back. You way moreover receive your rate of return on the amount of money you spend on gas money just by doing 1 deal. Okay, so that's one way is driving. So that's another way people call driving for dollars. So that's what I do. Like I spend one Saturday, well not really Saturday, I do it during the week. I do it like, when's the last time I did it? It was Wednesday of this week I've done it. And I checked out like 3 neighborhoods. I look for houses that were vacant, where you can see directly through the windows. You know, no drapes in the windows. They look trash, they look boarded up, they were beat up. And I also look for properties that have for rent signs. And even for sale signs. And I take all those down as leads. So for the for sale signs, if they're for sale by owner, that's a huge plus. Because now you're working here. Either they're for sale by owner, that means a person who owns the house and they're selling it themselves without a realtor. Either A, they're selling it themselves, you can negotiate better pricing. Or B, is a wholesaler who's wholesaling that property. But at least you found a lead, someone who can give you more deals. Alright, so you want to look for rent signs as well, I forgot to mention that. And for sale by owner signs. Okay? So driving for dollars. The next thing is call. This is one thing that I've done which helped me find a lot of multifamily deals, but it can help you find distressed properties as well. Because what you want to do to make money when you're first starting off, you want to look for houses that are somewhat distressed and foreclosure, bank owned. These are called real estate owned properties or REO properties. So these are the kind of properties you want to deal with in the beginning. For sale by owner, meaning you found a house that was vacant, you found out the owner lives in Miami, he inherited the property, he no longer wants it, he sells it to you at a cheap discount. That's an example of a for sale by owner. So you want to deal with, in the beginning, for sale by owners, and you also want to deal with REOs, real estate owned. For sale by owners, they can possibly have a mortgage, so you want to ask them questions about mortgages and things like that. And hold on one second, I have another call coming in. Hey Jerry? Good, hey, I'm gonna conference you in. I'm doing a group call, alright? But I'm gonna conference you in, okay? Alright, bye. Hello, Jerry? Hey, guys? Yeah, this is Jerry. This is my guy. I said that it's a credit repair. He does the inquiry removal. I said he can possibly help you out with Equifax. So I got him on the line now, but I'm gonna just finish this what I'm talking about now, and then we'll go into the credit repair afterwards. All right? You guys got it? All right, cool. So Jerry, just hold tight. I'm just teaching this lesson about easy ways to find deals. So we talked about driving for dollars, and the next part is one of the things I've done a lot is call. So this is what you do, right? You have to call maybe 20, I would say 25 realtors or wholesalers, and you're asking them for deals. So with realtors, you want to call realtors who are what? REO agents, real estate owned agents. And you want to call those realtors that list properties. Because there's 2 types of realtors. There's a realtor who works with people who's looking to buy a house, which are normally like retail home buyers, like, oh, I want to buy my first house, let me call this realtor to help me shop for a house. And there's another realtor called a listing agent or a seller's agent. They list a property and they work with the seller. That's why they're called a listing agent or sales agent. And these agents, the reason why you want to work with them and not a buyer's agent, even though you're a buyer, is because these listing agents, they know A, the condition of the property, and they know B, the motivation of the seller. So if you know that the seller is very motivated to sell, and these are some of the indicators of a person who's motivated, because that's what you want. When I said for sale by owners, you want someone who's a motivated seller. This is a person who's facing bankruptcy, facing foreclosure, facing divorce, lost their job, getting laid off, had a job transfer to California. They can't afford 2 housing payments in different states. They inherit a property they don't want. They're tired of being a landlord because they got screwed by tenants, toilets, and taxes. They just want to get out of the game. These are people who are called motivated sellers, and these are the kind of people you want to work out with. So being that these people are highly motivated, it's easier to work out a good deal in your favor. All right, so these listing agents, they know the motivation of the seller. And with that motivation, you kind of have leverage. You have an advantage in regards to negotiating, because this person's motivated to sell. They need to get out this property. All right, cool, I'll get you out this property, but it's going to be at my price and my terms. I'm willing to buy your headache or your mistake, but at a discount. So these REO agents, so they list the property as well, so they can somewhat tell you what's wrong with the property. They won't be able to give you like a number like it'll be about $15,000 to fix up the property or this and that. But what they'll tell you is some details about the property. Oh, it looks like it needs a new roof. The house is kind of functionally obsolete, or has an outdated kitchen and bathroom, and needs upgraded and needs updated. There's issues with the back deck. There's rotten wood. They'll give you pretty much the scoop of the REO. Again, that's the real estate owned, bank owned property. The good thing about REO properties is there's no mortgage, so they're owned free and clear. So you can talk with the banks, you can negotiate with the banks through the REO agent. So that's the plus. So they're distressed. It's a foreclosed property. And that's the kind of property you want to get your hands on starting off. The only downside to having REO properties and working with realtors is they require a bigger earnest money deposit, which is basically money that you give up front saying, this is my money, my $1,000 or $2,000 with good faith to buy it. When you're dealing with, it's called FSBOs, for sale by owners, that's negotiable. You don't have to give them $1,000 and say, hey, I promise to buy this property. You can give them a $10 bill just for, it's called consideration, that I'm considering to buy it. You can do that with FSBOs all day long, 10 bucks. The deal doesn't go through, you lose your money, you're just out of $10. But with dealing with realtors and REO properties, if things go wrong, you're out of $1,000 or $2,000. So that's the downside. And another thing with REO properties is you're buying it pretty much as is. So you can't put all these contingencies in there, because the banks, they're not going to listen to you. They're just going to run away from you. So you can't say, oh, this is a financing contingency or a property inspection contingency. It's pretty much understood that you're buying the property as is in this current state. So you want to make sure you take a look at the property, do your due diligence first before you buy it. Before you not buy it, but place an offer. All right, so back to calling. So you want to call about 25 of these REO agents / wholesalers. Wholesalers are pretty much what a realtor does, but they just get more money off the deal without having a license. They basically find the property, get it under contract, and then they assign it to someone else, to like a flipper. And I've worked with wholesalers myself. They find a property at a cheap discount, they make like a $5,000 fee or their spread, and they sell it for me at a little higher price. And I still buy it because it's still a good deal. So you want to call about 20 to 25 of these guys. You find the REO agents I found mine from using HomePath, HOMEPATH, homepath.com. And I just looked at properties in my area. So if it's Pittsburgh, PA, I'll just type in Pittsburgh, PA, or type in a couple of zip codes that I know people want to buy houses or people love to live in. And then I'll take a look at all the inventory they have, like meaning the houses they have for sale, because they're all REO properties on homepath.com. And I click on each one and I see all the different realtors with their names and phone numbers and emails, and I contact each and every one of them. Just cold call them. And I just tell them, hey, my name is Juan. I'm an investor in the area. I'm looking to get my hands on my next deal. Can you send me this listing if you see a property you like, so I can submit an offer to you by tomorrow? Just to let them know you mean business. So in order to do that, you got to make sure you have like a proof of funds, or have a hard money lender provide you with proof of funds, or a pre-qualification letter so you can buy these things cash. Okay. And with wholesalers, you want to do the same thing. Give them some type of proof of funds. Just let them know that you mean business. You're not a tire kicker. You're not here to waste their time, but you will actually close on deals. So the first thing is driving for dollars. It's low cost. You're just spending your time. You find great deals off the market. Calling is also low cost. You're just calling people on the phone. You're going on the internet and you're just calling people. Or you can go on Zillow and find realtors as well, or your real estate investment groups to find these wholesalers. And just network. That's all you're doing. You're just calling to increase your network, and you're asking them what deals they have. Okay? And we'll get into what you can do once you find these good deals in a minute. Another way you can find it is by having mail, like a direct mail campaign, which is basically you're sending out like yellow letters like this. And I even get them sent to me, and I send them out to people too. Just in an envelope, you just write, Dear Juan, my name is James Doe. My wife is Lynn. I would like to buy your house located at 123 Main Street. Please call me at 123-4567 or email me at email.com. Please call. Thanks. James. That's it. And you just type this and you put this in an envelope, a yellow letter, like a legal pad like I mentioned earlier. You take a sheet from your legal pad, stuff it in an envelope, and you mail it to the person. That's it. Or you have a postcard, which I do mainly postcards because they're cheaper and I can send out more. Like the last direct mail campaign I sent out was for $1,000. It's like something like this right here. Dear such and such, do you have problems caused by underperforming or vacant piece of real estate? Do you have troubles with your tenants? Do you want to get out the landlord business and keep the cash flow? Did you become a landlord by accident and it's more trouble than you thought? Contact us today and we can help you. Simply visit our website at www.willbuyyourproperty.com, whatever it is, and enter your contact information. We'll get in touch with you within 24 hours. Something basic like that. Or facing divorce, facing foreclosure, need to sell your house fast for cash, quick closings, call me at such and such. And people will call you. Out of the 1,000 letters, I probably got like maybe 20 to 30 phone calls, and I've done 2 deals. And the last call I received was yesterday. And I scheduled an appointment to meet this lady next Friday to see the single family house she has in Marietta. So even though I mailed this campaign out in December, I'm still getting calls in February. Because with the direct mail campaign, it's like the way you make your money is in the follow-up. It's just not your first go round of letters being sent or postcards being sent. It's the multiple touches. I'm gonna do another campaign in February this month to the same people. Because you might need to touch them 2 or 3 times, up to 7 times, and they turn around and say, yeah, I'd like to sell my house. Things changed in the past 7 months. Now I'm ready to sell, or now I need to sell. And that's why you want to work with motivated sellers, because these are the people who are on a need to sell basis, not a want to sell basis. Because you will get calls from these campaigns with people saying, oh yeah, I just want to see, what I can sell it for, write me an offer, submit an offer to me. They're just trying to test the market to see what they can get for the property, but they really don't need to sell. Because if you give them a lowball offer, they're going to be like, oh, well, no, never mind, but thanks though. Thanks for sending me the letter. Or you have some people contact you and say, hey, take me off your list. But you have some people who are very motivated. And the people I target for those direct mail campaigns, I normally target people who are out-of-state owners. It's called an absentee list. People, landlords who live out of state. Those are like my main targets. Because to me, in my opinion, they're more motivated to sell. And they have certain criteria. You know, they live out of state. They own the property for over 10 years, which means they probably have some equity in the property. So they've been living there for 10 years. A 3-bedroom, 1 bath minimum. No less than 1,200 square feet. Because anything less than that's a small house, and to me small houses don't sell fast or don't sell at all. So I won't work with a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. Has to be 3-bedroom, has to have greater than 1,200 square feet. And that's pretty much it. As long as it's, yeah, that's pretty much for my criteria. So what you use to get your list for a direct mail campaign, you can use listsource.com, LISTSOURCE, listsource.com, to generate a list with that criteria I just described. Or you can use Rocket Print and Mail. I use Rocket Print and Mail only because it's like a one-stop shop. You get the list from them, you get the postcards from them, and they send it out for you. But it's a little bit more expensive. You want to save $1, you might want to go to listsource.com and mail them out yourself and write on them yourself if you're getting started and you don't have the capital. Alright, so that's, yeah, list source, LISTSOURCE, listsource.com. Or you can check Rocket, Print, and Mail. I don't remember the website, but just Google Rocket Print and Mail. Those are the people I work with, who I did my last mailing with. So mailing, this is another way of finding properties that are off market. These are houses that probably hasn't been listed yet. And when deals are off market, that tends to be bigger bucks for you. But you just gotta touch them. That's all. So back to the final point, the TE, that stands for transactional engineer. So that's, yeah, go ahead. You said what tab you get the list from Rocket Print and Mail?
Yeah, like where you go to get the absentee list from.
Oh, I don't know exactly. I don't, you know, I'm not near a computer right now. But if I were you, I would just call whatever number they have there, 188 number, 1-800 number, and call them. Or what I can do when we get off the phone, I'll email you my contact. Her name is, I think it's Jen. I email you Jen's contact, and she'll be able to give you all that information. She'll tell you about pricing, and the good thing about them too, they have different templates. You know how I was just reading out some of those templates like, hey, my wife and I want to buy your house, or are you a landlord who's tired of being a landlord and want to get out of the business? They have different types of those templates. They have like 10 different ones for real estate investing. So that's the great thing about that. So you can pick and choose which one you want to go with. And you can also, of course, create your own. So you don't have to use their templates. You can use your own on the postcard. All right. So that's one way. But for TE, that's for transactional engineer. So what I want you to do, like I said before, it's not about teaching you one way to do 50 deals. It's about 50 ways to do one deal. So you have to be able to be an engineer in your transaction, being able to see which tool you can use for each problem that comes your way. All right. So for TE, you got the first thing is the W. The W is for wholesaling, right? So even if you don't have any cash or credit, you can wholesale some of these deals. You might be driving for dollars and you find a house that's beat up and vacant. You knock on the neighbor's door and they say, oh yeah, Joanne used to live there. Joanne, she relocated to Miami because she had a job change and she couldn't sell the property for years. And yeah, I still keep in touch with her. I still got her number. And you call Joanne and Joanne's like, yeah, I'll sell it to you. I own it free and clear anyway. And she sells it to you at a discount. So when you're wholesaling, you want to make sure you want to get the property at least 60%, I would say, under the ARV, the after repair value. So if you know this house is fixed up and pretty, it's worth $100,000, you want to try to get that under contract and factor in the repair costs as well, at least $60,000, I would say. So that way you can mark it up to $65,000 so you can sell it off to another person like a flipper. Alright, so you can wholesale. You can wholesale just from driving for dollars or for calling. You might call a realtor who's an REO agent and they say, yeah, I got this deal, this beat up property, this real estate bank owned property, and I'm selling it for $20,000. And you know, in that neighborhood fixed up, it'd be worth $100,000, but it needs about $30,000 in work. And the only thing you did, you just found a realtor and you get under contract, you take a look at it, come up with a rehab estimate, and then you assign your contract to a flipper slash rehabber. And you find your rehabber and your flippers through your real estate investment groups, or you find someone on Craigslist. Alright, and that takes nothing, that's just doing something from home. But you're just calling, that's all you're doing. You're looking at a lot of deals. But you still should go out and see them before you put them under contract. Or you might wholesale as a result of your mailing campaign. Someone may call you based upon your yellow letter or your postcard, and they're interested in selling it. And you get it under contract, and you assign your contract, you sell your contract to a rehabber, flipper, or someone else who's interested in owning as a rental, and you get your spread from that difference. Alright, so that's one way of transacting these deals. Flipping, you can do the same thing. Instead of wholesaling a deal you found by driving down some neighborhoods or calling some realtors or sending out a mailing campaign, you might say, you know what, I might be able to flip this deal. And to flip a deal, you need to be able to buy it and fix it, and it has to be 65% of the ARV, the after repair value. That's how much the house will be worth after it's fixed up and pretty. So after you drive for dollars and you find a house and you realize the ARV in this area is $100,000, you know, a nice round number, easy math, you might think, oh, you took a look at it, you might say, oh, it needs about $30,000 in work to fix it. So in that scenario, if it needs $30,000 in work, how much do you need to buy it for? Let's say it's worth, the after repair value is $100,000, right? And you always want to buy it and fix it at 65% of the after repair value. So you went there to the property and you came up with a rehab estimate of $30,000. You had your contractor take a look at it, or multiple contractors, and you had a scope of work, yada yada yada. You find out it needs $30,000 worth of work to get this property pretty. How much do you need to buy this property for? What's the maximum you need to pay for this property? In other words, a maximum, it's called MAO, your maximum allowable offer. What's the maximum amount that you can offer for this property? All right, can you tell us how you got $30,000?
I want to take that, I want that, that's going to be $60,000, that's going to require, I want to subtract $30,000 that needs to, from the price I'm going to offer. So that's why I got $30,000.
Okay, that's good.
I paid $25,000.
And how did you come up with $25,000?
That's down to the same type of math, but that way you still under the 55%.
This is my class, by the way. I do a bi-weekly conference call, and I give them homework, and we work it out like a classroom setting. You understand? This is what you get to if you subscribe to our monthly membership, which is cheap, $17.99 a month. But you get to learn all this stuff, and this is stuff I discuss with them. So I'm giving you an insight into what we teach them, so you're getting some really good inference.
The ARV might not be the same as the sale price.
Yeah, you can call it R. All right, so, and again, this subject material gets deeper and deeper, right? But let's just say you can sell it for $100,000, all right? Let's say that's the ARV is the same price we were able to sell it for. So the way I compute this is, I know it's worth $100,000 once it's fixed up and pretty. So I multiply 100,000 times 0.65, and that gives me what? What does that come out to? 100,000 times 65%. 65,000, right?
Yeah.
And then to fix it up, the rehab is 30,000. So I'll subtract 30,000 to fix it up. That leaves me with 65,000 minus 30,000. That leaves me with 35,000. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so 35,000 is your MAO, the maximum allowable offer to buy it. That's the maximum you can pay to buy this property. But if you're wholesaling it, you don't want to buy it for 35. You want to get it for 30,000. Why? It's because you charge the flipper 5,000 to buy that contract. So you get under contract for 30, you sell it to the flipper for 35,000. So you made 5,000 just like that, quick and easy. And the flipper is like, yeah, I'll pay 35,000 for it because it's worth 100. And I only got to put, 30,000 in rehab. If it's worth 100 and I'm 65,000 all in, I'm still making $35,000 in profit. I mean, of course you got to subtract, closing costs, realtor fees, all that other stuff. But let's just say, just to make the math easy, you're still making $35,000 spread on that. So if you were wholesaling this deal, you want to get it under contract for at least $30,000. So you can at least make the average wholesale profit, which in my opinion is like $5,000. At least you made $5,000 just by finding a deal, just by driving down some streets in your neighborhood, or just by making some phone calls and networking with realtors, or just by sending out a marketing campaign and just answer the phone with whoever calls you. All right, so that's how you do it. So back to TE, you can flip these properties yourself, but you got to make sure you qualify for hard money. And with hard money, they're more like institutionalized or they're individuals who lend you money out of their portfolio. They'll say, all right, like my hard money lender in Pittsburgh that I've done some deals with, he would lend 100% of the money. In fact, for one closing in particular, I put no money up front. Only money I spent was $300 on an appraisal before we closed. I didn't put any earnest money deposit up because he was a motivated seller. And I said the least you can put up, or the most you can put up, is $10 just to bind the contract. So I'm in this deal like maybe 300 some change or whatever, and I got money back at closing. I got $1,100 back at closing because I was able to get the purchase price and the rehab cost less than 65% of the after repair value. And I told the hard money guy, you're like, yo, I want the whole 65%. Because I probably bought it at, I don't know, 60% of the after repair value. To buy and fix it up was less than 60%. And he just gave me extra money. So I got money back at closing, So you can do that too. It's just depending on the hard money lender. Because in some areas, like in Atlanta, some hard money lenders require you put down 20%. Regardless if you buy at 65% of the after repair value. And what you gotta do is just borrow that money. Borrow from a private lender. Or borrow it from a credit card. Stuff that, some of the stuff I do. Or get a partner in the deal and he throws up all that money if you don't qualify for hard money. So for hard money you use that for flips. Or you can use business credit as well for flipping. But the reason what it's called hard money is because the interest rate is hard. It's not going to be like 4% or 5% with Wells Fargo or Bank of America. It's going to be like up to 15% interest rate. And it's not going to be like 1 point or 2 points like Bank of America or Wells Fargo. It's going to be like 3 points to 5 points. And the point is 1% of the money you borrow. So if you borrow $100,000, you got to pay this guy $5,000 on top of the $100,000 that you borrow from him, plus a 50% interest rate. So that's what makes it hard. But the good thing is, But the good thing is you're able to buy it and fix it up using someone else's money. So back to TE, transactional engineer, you can wholesale, you can flip, or you can buy and hold. So you might be able to find a deal like this. You still use hard money because, again, we're focusing on distressed assets. We're focused on motivated sellers who got beat up properties or their bank-owned properties in foreclosure. Either way, the property is beat up. It needs some work done to it. And if the property is beat up, has no copper pipes because someone broke in and stole it, they didn't have enough money to fix the holes in the roof, so every time it rained or snowed, there's just water damage, the building's deteriorating, rodent issue, all this crap. A bank, a conventional bank, like a Bank of America or Wells Fargo, they won't lend you money on a distressed asset, a distressed property. But a hard money lender will. They'll lend you money on a distressed asset because they're banking on an after repair value. And so what I've done, which I suggest you guys to do for your first deal when you get your first rental for the buy and hold, it's the same math I gave you with this other scenario for flipping. Instead of selling it, you do a cash out refinance. So in order to do this, you got to be able to qualify for a mortgage. So when you do buy and hold, you got to make sure you A, qualify for hard money, and B, qualify for a conventional mortgage. So this is what I do, or what you can do as well. I bought a house in Pittsburgh, in Brighton Heights, and I bought it. The asking price was $29,000, and the asking price was $29,000. I offered, I think, $31,000. I offered more than what it was worth because it was a distressed asset. It was a REO property, bank owned, and my offer got accepted. So I'm in it like $31,000 to purchase. I put, I don't remember, maybe about, I don't know, $70,000, $60,000 in rehab. I forgot the numbers. I've done this years ago. The rehab was about at 65%. Let me see, because I knew the ARV. I just worked backwards. I remember the ARV was 107. So whoever got a calculator, what's 65% of 107? 107 times 0.65. That's 69,000, right?
Yep.
Should I say 70,000? And I bought it for 31. So at least 39,000 in rehab, right? So I got this with the, with those numbers. So I fixed it up, got it looking pretty, and then I went to my bank and said, hey, I want to cash out refinance. So with the cash out refinance, they say, all right, now that the property is pretty, we can give you a mortgage on it. Now you can go to Bank of America or Wells Fargo or your local community bank and get a mortgage. But they say, okay, we'll give you a mortgage we'll give you 80% of the appraised value, or the ARV. We'll give you 80% of it. So remember, you bought it at 65% of the ARV. So if you bought it for 65% of the ARV, but you're getting a mortgage for 80% of the ARV, that means you're still pulling out 15% of the ARV as cash. So it's kind of like better than the flip because you're still pulling money out, you're pulling the equity out, and you're still getting a monthly cash flow. So you're making a profit every month, plus you got some cake. So that's what I said earlier about when I said, yeah.
The one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't mean to cut you off. Can I go a little bit farther with that?
Go farther? Go ahead.
Well, you said, cash out, refinance, the mortgage, traditional bank, 80% of the ARV, which allows you to take 15% of, cash as profit. Now, I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Instead of going out and renting it, can you, lease it out?
You mean a lease option to buy?
Yeah, lease option to buy. Like, let's say you find a tenant that can't qualify for the conventional, loan, so therefore, because of whatever their situation is, and let's say they come to you and say, yeah, I want to put on the market for, lease options, buy, and I find a tenant, and, they come with like, let's say 10% down on whatever they're selling what you're selling it for, not for what the bank, ARP was. They set up ARP. What turn around and sell it to a new tenant through the lease option for 100% of the ARP and get a 20% down payment, and you still got the monthly income coming in.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a little further down the line, but what you have to do is you still got to get yourself out of this hard money loan, because if you do a rent-to-own option, what he's saying, just in case you guys don't understand, it's kind of like it's called a lease option to buy rent-to-own program. You put a tenant in the property, and they give you something that's called an option. It's basically like this down payment, just say $5,000. That's normally the normal amount of money, or it can be $10,000. But the normal amount is $5,000. They say, all right, I put a $5,000 that goes toward my option to buying this house at a future date after I get my credit repaired, so I can qualify for a mortgage. And normally that takes about 2 years. Normally people who do a lease option to buy, they lease it for 2 years with an option to buy it at the end of those 2 years. If they choose not to exercise their option, they choose not to buy the property, they forfeit that $5,000 or $10,000 option, and you keep that in your pocket. But the reason why I said not yet is because you still got this hard money loan. You're still paying 15% interest. You're still paying 5 points. So you still got to refinance this mortgage out of you.
Right. I'm talking about after you refinance.
Yeah, but you got to get out of that hard money loan within 6 months to a year's time. That's the thing. Like, you want to get out that hard money loan ASAP, because you're still paying 15% interest, or you're paying 12% interest rate. Now this person, they're just leasing it from you. You got to get out the hard money loan ASAP, because during a hard money loan, when you're in the loan, you're paying 50% interest, 5 points, and you're paying $0 towards the principal. You're paying interest only payments. So you have to cash out of that within 6 months to a year's time. So that's why I want to finish this illustration about you being able to refinance this property first. So then once you refinance, the going rate is like 5% now for like a conventional mortgage on an investment property. So now your interest payment dropped from having a 15% interest rate to a 5% interest rate. And then you're amortizing it for 20 to 30 years. Yeah, you can do that. What you're saying is then you put that tenant in there. I mean, you can still do that. You can still put that tenant in there, but you still got to refinance it yourself. Or do a wraparound mortgage. That's another thing you can do with a tenant like that. You can still sell it to them and just do a wraparound mortgage. But that's more stuff going down the line. So, but back to this example, you get to pull out 80% of what the property appraises for. So the property appraises for $100,000. You owe the hard money lender $65,000 because you borrowed 65% of the ARV, which was $100,000. The bank will say, okay, we'll give you 80% of that. 80% of $100,000 gives you $80,000. So you pay off the hard money loan of $65,000, plus you got an additional $15,000 in cash. And this cash is a loan, which means you don't have to pay any taxes on it, because you're pulling out the equity as a loan. So that's the upside instead of doing a flip. When you do a flip, you bought it for $100, you borrowed $65,000, you got $35,000 as your profit. Again, we're not talking about closing costs and realtor fees and all that stuff. You've got to pay taxes on that, capital gains on that $35,000. But when you do a cash out refinance, you don't pay taxes off the money you pull out. I mean, it's not $35,000. In the other scenario, you pulled out $15,000, but that's $15,000 tax free. And plus, you're getting that passive income every month. Hold on one second. So you're getting that passive income every single month, and you're getting taxed less because it's passive income, which has a lower taxable rate than earned income or capital gains. All right, go ahead. What's your question?
When you go to the
All right, guys, that's it. This video's going long, but I'm gonna finish this call. All right. So I wish you guys the best. If you want to learn more, subscribe to our website. Go to 100%finance.com and check in with this. All right, peace.